Hey, welcome back to MgM. My name's Jimmy. Today we're going to be looking at some tree terrain. I was playing a game of Flames of War down at my local game store, and they recently had a tournament, and they had a ton of these trees painted up and on the table, and it looked absolutely gorgeous. Naturally, I found out where the file came from. It is a paid file. I'll put a link down below. I'm not affiliated with it in any means. But the reason that these trees really caught my eye is because they are static, but they allow you to move through them. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. Traditionally, we would use tree terrain as area terrain, and you would be able to move the trees around the area terrain to allow your models to move wherever they wanted to. And to me, that only made sense when I played rank and flank games, because naturally the bases are a lot larger, so you needed to shuffle the trees around in order to move the entire base through. And seeing these trees on the table, I really liked the aesthetic that they provided, and this file provides a lot of different setups there where you can have trees all around. You can have single trees on the battlefield, you can have a row of trees, but it really just looked so good and blended into the battlefield so well with the 3D elements that it provided. I decided to fire this up on my Bamboo Lab A1, and you can tell there's a lot of textures. You can see the holes where the trees are going to go in, and this print, after slicing it, it took about 8 hours to print, and the Bamboo A1 is pretty fast. You can tell this does take up the entire build plate. They do include files where this is split, so you could print them in halves and magnetize them or glue them together. It takes around, or costs around, $3.24 to print this bad boy, and we're going to print up a few of these to demonstrate today. Now with the Bamboo A1, everything is handled right from your computer. The file is sent to the printer, and away we go. It auto levels, it does everything that I need it to do, and the print is up and running. The print came out like a dream, and you can tell there's a lot of texture in this print. It's going to paint up very nicely. Now for painting, dry brushing would be awesome here because of all of the texture, but I am going to go to an airbrush as I am still trying to learn how to use one. For the paints, I am going to use the Army Painter's Magnolia Brown. This is a War Paints Air. I'm just going to get this from all angles to give it a nice solid base coat. Again, you could easily overbrush this color on or use some kind of rattle can of your choice. Up next, I go in with a War Paints Air Husk Red, and this is kind of like a mahogany brown, that red color. I'm going to go in and kind of get the paths that are running through the middle. This starts to come together pretty nicely. I'm not trying to be careful here, just really kind of going through and giving it a solid once-over. Up next, I go in with Uniform Gray, and I just get some of the rocks and things like that that are around the hills. Again, great spot to apply dry brush or anything like that to get these textured areas. Next, I go with a War Paints Air Gremlin Green, and just kind of going over the tops of the hills there where the trees are going to be. It's okay to leave a lot of that area dark because it would be shadow from the trees. Next, I go in with a light dusting of Skeleton Bone. Now, if there's one thing I do love about the airbrush, it's how efficient you can be when it comes to things like terrain. Can't really say that enough. Terrain is a great place to learn using the airbrush. I have not really tried it on models yet outside of a Zenithal highlight, but on terrain like this, airbrushing is fantastic. Once complete, I slot in some trees that I purchased online for pretty cheap, and you can tell this works at a 15mm scale as well as a 28mm scale. Now the trees that you're seeing, it's the cheap ones that you can buy on Amazon, and then the little shrubs down there are the Woodlands Scenics shrubs. I really like the look and feel of these trees, and just seeing them on the battlefield with the models kind of moving through them, and the way that they give you that 3D element, I think just really brings the battlefield more to life. Here's a snap of some 32mm blackout figures, and you can tell that this is going to work in a lot of scales. So once again, I'll put links all down below so you can check these out for yourself. Again, I'm not affiliated with them. I bought these on my own, and I really enjoy the way that they look, so figured I would share them with you. MgM Prints is a new series where I'm going to show you how to bring your battlefields more to life. You're going to be seeing more of these, from how to create an underhive setting to things such as this. Supporters Club, your names are on the screen now. Thank you so much. It's by no means necessary. If you've watched the video this far, you've done more than enough to support the channel, so thank you so much. You can always find more out on our new website, miniaturegamemontage.com. We will see you in the next one. Take care.